As we drive through the state, you'll start seeing a lot of trees that have either been removed or dying, and a lot of that is due to insects, diseases, pine wilt, a lot of drought conditions, sometimes even overwatering. Well, the question we often get is, what do you replant back into these areas so that we still benefit from the windbreaks and the screens? And the question is, we just don't know what's gonna have a problem and what isn't down the road, but the object is to replant and diversify your plantings at the same time. Some of the selected evergreens that we're using at present are ones we don't have problems with, that can take the extreme weather conditions and can also take the drought. One evergreen that we're using at present is the Concolor Fir. Concolor Fir is native to the Rocky Mountain region, but is well adapted to our area. It can take being ignored, really. Extreme drought, extreme heat. The biggest situation we have with the concolor is transplantability. It seems to be a little bit of an ongoing battle to get them to grow in the nurseries properly and to transplant readily. They just tend to go in shock quite often, but if you can get them established, they just don't have a lot of disease or insect issues. So the concolor is an outstanding one to begin with. The border pine is also almost native to the state of Nebraska. It's native to the Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico range, but the climate that it tolerates is dry and very extreme in temperatures. A lot of the pine that we see dying are the culprit of the diseases, so people are leery about planting pine. This one also tends to do very well in heat and humidity in the state, so the border pine would be great for a windbreak situation. The Ponderosa Pine is a native to western Nebraska, so we are implementing this one in windbreaks, even in this part of the state. The further east you go, the higher humidity can affect disease issues just a little bit, but the key is to give proper spacing, 15 to 20 foot apart, and not overwater the tree because they don't like to have overly wet roots. The Domingo Pine is a fairly new one for us. We've only been using it for about 6 years. It's a cross between the white pine and the Mexican pine, which is native to Honduras, but with that said, it still can take 30 below zero temperatures. It's been tested in Pennsylvania at that. So we're kind of excited about having a long needle pine that's a little softer than an Austrian or a Ponderosa. We've planted them in very extreme sites, tops of hills with straight north winds on them, and still have had great success with them. So the Domingo might be one of those you'd implement in with the spruce or a fir windbreak. The Black Hill spruce is not too far away from us again. It's native to South Dakota, obviously in the Black Hills. It is a variety of white spruce, which are native to the Great Lakes states, and we do use the white spruce and Black Hill spruce interchangeably. So for another option to give you with the pine or the fir and the spruce, the Black Hills or the white spruce would be another one of those. So again, with windbreaks, the thing to remember is they are things that need to be renovated every so often. And we're just seeing a lot of the windbreaks that are old age or succumbing to disease or insects. So don't be afraid to get out there and plant new trees again. You want to remember diversity. We mix hardwoods and shrubs. Nothing wrong with mixing in some oaks or wild plum or clove currant. But again, we need to have the windbreaks in this part of the state. So get out there and plant those trees.